All right, everyone, I am back for the third year in a row at the Elzra booth with Aaron West, the head of the Catacombs. How's it going, Aaron?
Can't complain, Jack.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is so cool. You have so many awesome projects on the horizon, and you're in the middle of fulfilling other projects. Catacombs Cubes was a big success. How does it feel coming on the outside of that Kickstarter, now just getting ready to ship to the backers?
Well, I'll feel even better when it's shipped.
For sure. And how has the response been to the game as you're showing it off here at the convention in full force, where last year you just had a little prototype off to the side?
Sense we get is that folks are liking it. You know, they're wrapping their head around the fact that they're not necessarily flicking the components around, and but instead they're building the original town that started the whole Catacombs series.
Well, that isn't the only thing that you have. Of course, you have playmats galore all over here because now Elzra is in the playmat business. For the people who aren't aware of how Catacombs has evolved maybe over the last year and a half to a year, why don't you talk about your playmat initiatives here and how that may integrate with Catacombs as people know it?
Well, I haven't quite got to the point where I go to bed with a neoprene pillow, but we're getting close to that, perhaps. But anyway, we released a big box, in quotes, version of Catacombs that featured the original game boards, recast as neoprene playmats, double-sided, with a new obstacle system, new walls, and that was something that we've been working on for some time now, getting it fulfilled, getting it out to the backers, and there's, of course, new playmats for the game that are in development.
Speaking of which, we have like a nice pretty one here, which you haven't even decided where this is going yet. You want to show this off to the audience and tell us what you were doing here?
This was a playmat prototype that we developed. As you can see, the artwork is finished, and we're just waiting for Jack to make up the name of it, so where this takes place in the Catacombs world. And when he's completed that, we will we'll figure out where we're going to integrate it. So we're waiting on you, Jack.
All right, well, I'll have to think of something particularly sinister for this awesome-looking map. But in spite of the playmats, in spite of Catacombs Cubes, by far the most intriguing thing that I have seen here at the Elzra booth is this right behind us. We have Catacombs Phantom Division. This is brand new information. What is up with this game?
So this is the first time I'm speaking about this publicly. This is a new design that we have in development, and this is for all the folks out there that has said to me for a number of years now, listen, we want a sci-fi theme, we want catacombs in space, and this is what we are aiming to deliver with this design. Catacombs in space. And I won't say too much more about it at this point, but it's a well-tested design that fully cooperative. So if this version will not require an overseer. It's a fully cooperative mode, fully cooperative design, and this is something that we are actively working on, and by that means that we're starting to prepare the artwork for putting the game into production.
And that production is going to be what, a 2020 Kickstarter?
That is what I'm hoping for at this time standing here. That's what we're hoping for. So hopefully when we're back here next year, it's in the flesh behind us.
Oh, that's going to be so cool. And I know you're a busy guy, so that can't be the only project that you have on the horizon for 2020. So what are some of the other things that you're looking at for the Catacombs line? Well,
we have to reprint Catacombs and Castles, and we would like to work on Catacombs Monster Pit, and I have another design that was developed by a Catacombs fan out of Spain. And this is not something that I've spoken about publicly yet, but it's a dice flicking game. So you have your army of Catacombs characters, either the good guys or bad guys, and you're picking your side, drafting your army, and flicking dice. So it's kind of interesting, different approach to Catacombs, and kind of a brand new game in the line.
And this is going to be played over like classic wargaming hexagonal map, except in a nice Elzra twist on that neoprene playmat surface, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, this game features a neoprene playmat. That's correct, yes.
Now, you mentioned Monster Pit, which is a name that you've kicked around for a little while. We've seen some proposed box art from, I think, a Kickstarter or two ago. And do you have any details that you can share on Monster Pit at this time?
Well, with Monster Pit, I want to release something that will be compatible with Catacombs, but also provides a gentler introduction to the Catacombs 3rd edition game. So we have obviously Catacombs Conquest. That is a very, very streamlined introduction. But I wanted something that was going to play like Catacombs 3, but it'd be in a much more affordable package.
One thing, you mentioned Catacombs Conquest, and one thing I noticed when you design that game and you publish, you had these little symbols off to the side on the characters, which kind of teased at the possibility of future expansion integration. Is there any thoughts to fleshing out Catacombs Conquest itself, or is that kind of on the back burner while you focus on Monster Pit and obviously the huge project of a fully cooperative game by Elzra?
I'm still working on Conquest. We have a new expansion for it, a small mini expansion, if you like. But it will not necessarily use those symbols that you're alluding to, but Conquest is still very much a living property. We haven't finalized all the details yet, but the expectation is that Conquest will be published in several European languages starting next year. So there has been interest from foreign publishers in working with that property to start the whole process of releasing Catacombs overseas.
Well, you know that I love Conquest, and I love how it's just a quick, fast, simple take on the Catacombs formula. We've done reviews for it. We've done a how to play for it. I want to know, for the people in the audience who are wanting to get their hands on Catacombs, which seems to oscillate between, hey, here it is, just freshly delivered, and then quickly unavailable. Where can people best find any of the Catacombs releases that are in stock?
Obviously, on our online store, catacombs.shop, we'll ship it down to you gladly. And of course, that's going to be the only place where you'll be able to buy the big box, so-called big box version. But then, of course, it should be available at retail in Canada and the US, and we're working actively on a new distribution deal for the UK and Australia. And finally, I was able to meet with my distributor again for Europe, and he submitted an order. So when we get back, this will be one of the things that we're working on, is to get a shipment over to that distributor, and he's based in Germany for continental Europe.
Well, that's great news for everyone overseas, and this is great news for gamers everywhere, because it sounds like we're getting more Catacombs and we're getting new branches of Catacombs. I can't get over how cool a cooperative game with the whole Elzra aesthetic is going to come out. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, Aaron.
Oh, my pleasure, Jack. Always great to see you.
If you enjoyed this video, we have all kinds of other reviews, interviews, and recommendations via writing, podcasts, and video here on our channel and website cardboardherald.com. Our content is audience supported, so if you want to show your support, please visit our Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Cardboard Herald.